friends, and welcome back for another video. So for today's video, makikita niyo sa title, which entitled, What's in My Bag Vlog. This talks about the planning and preparation for hiking activities. Without further ado, just keep on watching and let's go. Are you a physically active person? What exercises do you usually do? Or have you experienced trekking, hiking, or mountaineering? And what do you think are the things to consider for mountaineering? So now I am going to share my knowledge to you about things to consider for mountaineering. And here are the things to consider for mountaineering. First, the pre-climb planning. The second one is hiking and backpacking safety. Then the camp management, and the last one is the equipment in hiking and backpacking. In doing a mountain climbing activity, it is must to conduct first a pre-climb meeting, which means it is a comprehensive study, presentation, and discuss of all the essential parts of conducting a climb. Here's are the things to be prepared during a pre-climb planning. First, make an itinerary. So we all know what is itinerary, right? This is one of the most important aspects in pre-climb planning, which is it is basically a detailed breakdown plan of all the journey to be undertaken. This is your outline or breakdown or a blueprint for all your activity before, during, and after the climbing. The second things to be prepared in pre-climb planning is transportation to be used to and from the expedition. So this is also an important in pre-climb planning because we need to avoid delay and para po magsabay-sabay o abot sa inyong arrival place on time. The third one is the budget of whole trip and amount of food to prepare and bring. One of the things we need to consider in planning and preparation of climbing activity is to determine the approximate cost of transportation, possible lodging, meals, and other expenses. And the amount of food to be carried on the expedition because this activity are expected to have or consume a couple of days in the wild plus extra rations in case of emergency. Lastly, the type of equipment that must be brought along the climb like emergency kit, cooking wares, personal equipment, and other essential hiking tools like shelter and warmth. And don't forget to divide the team into a smaller group. The leader, the medic, the scribe, the tell, and the contact person to make sure the safety of the climbers during climbing activity and to facilitate the sharing of shelter and other equipment during the climbing or hiking activity. Next thing to consider for mountaineering is the hiking and backpacking safety. So basically this talk about improving your fitness, your cardio in preparation for hiking activity. And the best way to improve your cardiovascular fitness is through exercises. So because exercises can build your strength, decrease the potential for injuries, and help problems such as weakness. Most of exercises to improve cardiovascular fitness also work your hiking muscles. So here are some examples of exercises and preparation for hitting a trail. these are few things you need to know before you head up a trail. First, minimizing your impact. As much as possible, leave no litter, no matter how small it is. You are a visitor to the backcountry and should have as little impact on it as possible. Second one is backcountry sanitation. Practice proper sanitation as much as possible. Carry a plastic bag for packing up the toilet paper, tampons, and napkins. The third one is living with wildlife. Do not or never feed any animals because it encourages them to associate humans with foods. It encourages them also to become oppressed, beggars, and thieves. So, and also, it is hazardous for them to their health. So, never and do not feed any animals na makita ninyo sa inyong campsite or maagian ninyo through the trail. There are three components of mountaineering: physical fitness, technique, and mental alertness. First, we have the physical fitness. All participants in the climb must be physically fit, so don't force yourself. Don't participate in the climb activities if you're not feeling well or if you're feeling sick. Don't push yourself para dili ka madaon. Any participant in a climb to get sick before the climb should forego his participation as a visitor. Dili puson ang lawas kung dili kaya. For the techniques in climbing activities or mountaineering, so you need to start slowly, take a small step, and do not destroy any mats, and always travel light. And for your mental alertness, always be alert in all the possible situation, possible na mga panghitabo na inyong ma-encounter along the way of your trail. So you, as a climbers, you always be alert in all the possible happenings along the way of your trail. In the camp, the important aspect one should have is mental ability and skills. This can be used in trail management like trail regulation, trail techniques, signaling, growth formation, and easing. In making direction or communication, we are encouraged the use of natural materials to make trail because the use of colored ribbons and straws are easily seen, but it is discouraged because it can destroy the beauty of the nature. If there is a pre-climb meeting, there is also a post-climb meeting wherein the participants of the climb give their personal feedback on the climb. The team should meet within 5 days after the climb to review the strong and weak points of the climb to allow for timbers to pull and to have an objective and accurate analysis during the assessment. And remember, take note, all the participants of the climb are required to attend the post-climb meeting. And also, as a rule, all group equipment must be returned during the post-climb meeting. The last thing to consider for mountaineering is the equipment in hiking and backpacking. This is the most important thing that we should bring when we do mountaineering. First, we have footwear, which is the boots. The hikers wear boots instead of shoes because boots provided lateral support so you don't twist an ankle and shield for your soles from the sharp rocks and pounding. And be sure to wear the lightest and most flexible boots you can find. Next, we have pocket knife. This uses from cutting mouse skin to making repairs. Climbing items has 9 categories which must have for climbers. First, we have essential. This is for personal needs and group needs. The second one is the group equipment. Most likely talk about the tent, the shelter, or the cooking wear like that. The third one is the clothing. It is very essential because it helps you to keep dry, warm, and comfortable. The fourth one is sleeping gear, like sleeping bags, trail mattresses, and others for sleeping. The fifth one is food provision, and most likely talk about the trail food, the pack lunch, and fuel for stove. The sixth one is survival kit or emergency ration. This includes extra trail food, waterproof matches, a plastic tarp, a surgical rubber tube, and a surgical or signal mirror. The seventh one is the first aid kit, and this kit contains essential supplies such as personal medicine, medicine for fever, anti-allergies, and so on. Eighth category in climbing is the repair kit, and this contains a tying string, duct tape, tent seam sealer, extra backhoe, needle, thread, and nylon string, and etc. The last is the toiletries and optional items. Materials for your personal hygiene like toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss, or sunblock, and other items are rubber bands, camera, tripod, umbrella, and so on. So that's the 9 categories of climbing. When you choose or when you use a tent, make sure it has a waterproof floors to keep out the water running on the ground and to avoid inconvenience. You can also bring sleeping bags to hold your body heat and to keep you comfortable on cold nights. Stove considered as a necessity for any outdoors activities, but make sure it's safe and do not bring any risk when you use it. Aside from group equipment, you have also your personal belonging, and ensure a hiking backpack for your equipment that has a good quality that can hold your essential things for hiking. And always remember to bring a water tumblers for your hydration. To avoid forgetting something, climbers should have a climb checklist so all their things or equipment are organized and well prepared, and they have and enjoyed the hiking experience. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something from me, and see you for the next video. Bye-bye.